We'll get in Sal Capaccio here, who is live at Gillette Stadium, to give us a little bit on the field, the weather, all that, as we head into Bills-Patriots. Sal, good morning. How are you today?
I'm well. Good morning, guys. Yeah, I just posted a video if anybody wants to check it out. I just posted it at Sal Sports of the walk into the stadium through the tunnel because you can see the snow falling down. I would say it's very similar right now to last week before the Bills played the Bengals, but not as much sticking on the ground at this point. You know what I mean? But the feel, the look, it's the soft, fluffy white snow, pretty constant. But I think it's going to start letting up closer to game time. If it's like this, we'll get another snow globe game, guys.
Yeah. Sal, I'm sorry if you don't know this. Is that field heated?
I don't know, but you know what? It was built in, 2000? Wait, it wasn't the last game. We were talking about this with Choke Bulldog. The last game at the old stadium was the Tuck Rule game, right? And then they opened it after that. So that would have been.
It does use just a quick search, a heated turf system with pipes under the field to keep the playing surface above freezing, so better conditions, preventing ice and mud. Because we know the new Bill Stadium, like when it snows, that'll be heated and it'll get snow off the field. So that's a scenario where you could see snow. It just won't accumulate the way that it did last week in Buffalo, because that field at Highmark currently is not heated. So something to keep in mind.
No, that's a good point, and that's probably why we're not seeing it now. And I was bringing up the year because I think most stadiums that were built, over the last 25 years pretty much have that heated system, or a lot of them have retroed to it. But you're right, the Bills will have that as well. So we'll see. We'll see how it sticks on the ground or doesn't stick on the ground going forward here.
Sal Capaccio joining us on the Western Hotline as we gear up for Bills-Patriots, Sal. So, Sal, we've had some good calls today. We've had some good debate today about like the meaning of this game and how much New England is, if they are better than the Bills, if these teams are equals. How do you view this game? I know on Friday you asked what this game means to you. The division hangs in the balance. Do you put these teams as near equals or almost full equals? Like, where do you kind of slot it right now?
Yeah, I think there's things to like about both teams as compared to the others. Like, you go through position by position, offensive line or secondary, whatever. I think overall, though, these are pretty even teams, roster-wise. I think that you could probably, say that the Patriots are they're punching above their weight right now, which I think is true. Like, I don't think the Patriots are necessarily like a team that, you look at their record and go, oh my God, like you can't stop them. They're a juggernaut. But man, they've done everything right. And they win games, and they play a certain brand of football they want to play, and there's something to be said for that. There's no doubt about it. So yeah, I think they're pretty even teams, but when it comes down at the end of the day, there's a lot of different kinds of things that matter, right? The quarterback who's been here before versus the one that's up and rising, and he hasn't kind of been in this type of situation before. So I do think they're pretty even teams from that standpoint, but I do think there's a lot of kind of nuance of who they played, how do they want to play, and how the games have turned out for those teams and how they played. And I think the game in Buffalo is a perfect example, guys. Sean McDermott said after the game, we played the game they wanted us to play. The Patriots want to play a messy game with you. Now, they have Drake Maye who throws the ball deep, and he's really good, but they want to play a messy game, and they want to take advantage of your turnovers, and that's what happened when the Bills played them the last time. I think in an even game, if the game is played evenly with neither team turning the ball over, I think the Bills are the better team in that regard. But I think you have to give credit for the Patriots forcing teams to play the way they want to play.
Could come down to red zone. I know in the first matchup they were about even in red zone. Just looking at some red zone stats for this year. Like, the Bills are about 10th in the league in how well they are at getting touchdowns. It's only touchdowns inside the red zone. And this is where New England is kind of near the bottom. They're 25th in the league in red zone.
27th in red zone EPA.
Yeah. And the last 3 games, you just want to do that, New England, their last 3 games is bottom 3 in touchdown percentage in the red zone. So sometimes, Sal, you get a game like this between 2 even teams. We focus so much on turnovers. The other side of it is, don't lose 4 points when you're in the red zone. Make sure you finish those drives.
It's really interesting. Yeah, I did some media this week. We had Mego and Fitzy on. It's always game day in Buffalo, and they're really good at what they do. And they have the Six Rings podcast we talked about earlier this week, and they mentioned that the red zone. It's been tough for them. It's been tough for the Patriots in the red zone. They're not, for some reason, they can't really figure out how to score there the way they should, and that's a key today, of course, right? You get down there, you got to stop them, hold them to field goals, and the Bills need to, on their end, punch a couple of those in. Now, let's remember what happened in Buffalo in that Week 1 game. Week 5 game, the first time they played. The Bills turned the ball over inside their own red zone, all right, which gave the Patriots an opportunity. And the Bills turned it over inside the Patriots' red zone when they were going in to score. I mean, those are massive swings. And on top of that, you think about the end of the game, the Patriots still took them, until the final drive to kick a field goal to win the game. So I think from that standpoint, that's why I say, guys, I think these when you ask me who's a better team, I think the Bills are the better team. I think in an even game, that's why they're favored here when you play evenly. But I just want to give respect to how the Patriots are forcing teams to play. So from that respect, I think the Patriots have to have a lot of you have to give them a lot of respect for that.
Sal, I think a fascinating storyline for this game is the potential return of Terrell Bernard off the injury list with his elbow injury. But Sal, he's been kind of fighting injuries all season to his lower body, his ankle, his knee. What do you expect to see, if any, if he's elevated for this game and playing in this game? Obviously, the conversation's been around Shaq Thompson, how well he's been playing in place of Terrell Bernard. But I think the part of the conversation with Bernard, Sal, is, this is a player that has made huge plays for the Bills. And I know it's been a tough season and it's been hampered by injury. But maybe we have a little bit of the recency bias with how well Shaq Thompson is playing. But I don't want to just disregard the fact that Terrell Bernard has been a guy that has made huge plays for this team in big moments. And I think they're going to need Bernard down the stretch.
Well, yeah, they do. And listen, I think what's happened here is because we all recognize, fans and us, we recognize that Shaq Thompson has been better for this defense than Terrell Bernard. They've been better defense with Shaq Thompson in the middle. Why is that? Because the way teams are running the ball against the Bills, the way they're getting heavier against the Bills. And Shaq Thompson's more of a downhill linebacker. That's not Terrell Bernard's game. But I think what's getting lost here, and I've seen this from a lot of fans over the last week, is when it looks like Terrell Bernard might be back and, he's coming back from the injury. And how many Bills fans have said, oh, my God, just keep him on the bench? A healthy Terrell Bernard is a good thing for the Bills. You don't have to start him. We'll see. Maybe they start Shaq Thompson, but you don't know how a game flows. The more options you have, the better. He's a good football player. And you could, if maybe the Bills can start matching up a little differently personnel-wise and down and distance-wise by having both Shaq Thompson and Terrell Bernard. I am very interested too, Nate. I have no idea what the plan will be if Terrell Bernard is actually playing in this game. And we don't know if he's going to play in this game. An active list will come out at 11:30. So, we'll see if he's going to play in this game. But I don't think there's anything wrong with having a healthy Terrell Bernard. And by the way, they did not elevate Beal Inspector. So what does that tell you? It could tell you very well that Terrell Bernard's ready and active for this game. Then the question is who starts. And then the question is it a timeshare, 2 down, somebody else comes in? Bernard, to me, if it came down to it, who would you trust in coverage on a 2-minute situation, Terrell Bernard or Shaq Thompson? I think I'm putting Terrell Bernard on the field. And I think that's a good situation. It doesn't have to be, oh, boy, Shaq Thompson is playing really well, so keep Terrell Bernard on the injured list or on the bench.
One thing Bernard gives you, Sal, playmaking ability, he has a knack for big plays. Sure, he might be a bit of a liability in the run game, but what this defense needs is plays like the Benford play last week. I don't think they're just going to dominate start to finish. It needs to be about the splash plays, and that might be an idea for why you want to get Bernard on the field when you can, because he has, over the course of his Bills career, provided some of those.
100%. And, it's just he steps up in the biggest of moments. He's always around the football. So we'll see how it goes and how it plays out. The Bills obviously dealing with the Christian Benford situation. We don't know about that. They did elevate Dane Jackson yesterday. So that's not great news and a great sign for Benford. I will caution people to say it doesn't mean Benford isn't playing for sure.
Yeah,
if they hadn't elevated Dane, I would say, well, that means Benford is playing. By elevating him, you could see him go through pregame warm-ups. I would say, though, guys, we saw a little bit of a limp, right, Sal? There's some video with a little bit of a limp. That's going to be tough to square, I think. I agree with you. It is also 2 days before the game when we saw that, so we'll see. But, as of right now, knowing they elevated Dane Jackson, knowing it happened Thursday at practice, Sean McDermott said it happened at practice. It's tough for me to see that, but if he gets here and he's out here warming up, we'll let everybody know during the roundtable.
On Joey Bosa, we are thinking he is trending towards playing, correct?
He's off the injury report, so
okay.
He's playing. Yeah.
He's playing.
There's no injury designation.
Well, the good news is that it's Sean McDermott, when the injury popped up with the hamstring, he said, week to week, hopefully 1 to 2, not 4 to 5. It ends up being a much shorter version. He misses 1 game. So that's good news, and I guess fingers crossed it's not the kind of thing that he could re-injure and become a bigger problem.
No, I agree with you, and, they're going to need Joey Bosa today, obviously. Again, this is a team that wants to throw the ball deep. They want to take their shots downfield. Drake Maye is second in the NFL in all 3 of these different things: yards per attempt, average depth of target and average depth of target just on completions. So he's second in all that. It means he's throwing the ball down the field. And when that happens, sometimes those plays take a little bit longer to develop, and you'd love to have Joey Bosa, obviously doing what he's supposed to do in the backfield there, but he has no injury designation. The Bills did elevate Andre Jones Jr., which I thought was interesting at defensive end. So I think to me that just says that's insurance against Bosa if something were to happen during the game or they want to limit his snap count.
All right. Very good. Sal Capaccio joining us. Call that the Barnes Firm Injury Report, brought to you by the Barnes Firm. Injured call 1-800-8-million. Thank you, Sal.
You got it, guys.
Sal Capaccio from Gillette Stadium. Countdown to kickoff follows this show, roundtable, all of it leading up to Gillette. The forecast in New England is for 2 to 4 inches of accumulation. But again, the key point is the heated field.
Yep.
So you got
take a look into the future, folks.
Right.
It's going to be the Buffalo next year.
It might snow 2 to 4 inches in the stands. My guess is that that's not going to accumulate on the field. 2 inches between now and 3 p.m. on a heated field is going to melt and drain. So we'll see how slick it is, but I don't think it's going to be, piles of snow. You're not going to have to worry about that. 803-0550, although you might want that, right? This Bills running attack in the snow, you might want that. 803-0550, 1-888-550-2550. Jeremy and Nate here. It is Buffalo Bills Game Day on the Buffalo Bills Radio Network. We're back in a snap, brought to you by Snapdragon Apples, the official apple of the Buffalo Bills.